Howdy folks, and welcome to the video for the British Tier 5 premium cruiser, the Exeter. So sometimes to win a game of World of Warships, you have to play well, have good teammates, get a little bit lucky, and be devastatingly handsome. And luckily for me, today was one of those days. And luckily for you, you get to watch the result in HMS Exeter. I presume HMS Exeter. I think that's how the British refer to all their ships. This is an interesting ship. It is hard not to compare it to the Omaha, and I think it suffers a little bit in comparison. It is essentially a British heavy cruiser kind of version of the Omaha. It has bigger guns. It gets 6 203s that have 34 millimeters of pen. I think it's like 2850 alpha, but you only get to fire them every 15 seconds. You don't get any smoke. You do get some nice 8-kilometer torpedoes. They go a little slow, but they hit really hard, like 16,000. And they only have 1.3 kilometer detection. Remember that last point because it's going to come up later. I think I'm going to play pretty well in the Exeter. I'm going to get a lot of help from my teammates, and then I'm going to get a good bit of help from Lady Luck. But we're going to start out on a good note here with this Nicholas smoking up his cruiser. Gotta love destroyers that are willing to smoke up other players, especially American destroyers that understand that their smoke is not for them. Their smoke is for other people. It's different in ships like the Italian destroyers with the exhaust smokes. Those are pretty much for you, Mr. Italian destroyer. But for the American destroyers, these long-lasting, static, in-place smokes are for the battleships and cruisers on your team. And this Nicholas seems to have understood the assignment. He did put it a little bit far away, but hey, you know, it's all good. Better there than not putting it down at all. So yeah, 17% fire chance on these guns. The guns are good. I just, maybe coming fresh off of playing the Chikuma 2, I am just not excited about cruiser guns that you have to wait 15 seconds to fire. I try to remember that this is tier 5, so you know, none of the ships exactly have amazing guns. I think that's one of the reasons the Omaha looks so good in comparison, because the guns are not just really good in general, but are really, really good for tier 5. I have made a bit of a tactical error here. I usually have this mod called Smoke Timer, and I forgot that we have a new version of WoWs, and so all my mods went away. It's really slightly annoying how that happens, but I just forgot to reinstall them. So I will be playing this game without the smoke timer, which is a little bit of a bummer because I'm in this Nicholas smoke and I have no idea how long it's going to last. I was not keeping track because I have gotten used to using the smoke timer. I do not know what this Königsberg is doing. This is not a great plan. I would love to Citadel this guy with the AP. The AP here is not as good as you would want it to be, but you are still looking at 203 millimeter AP, so you can still do some damage with it for sure. I don't know what the fuse timing is on these guns. I did not look it up, but there's my first Citadel. Nice solid bit of damage, and we're up to 10,200 damage. We're taking a little return fire. Not great, but don't know what that Julio Cesar was planning. Usually, Julio Cesar players are a little more savvy than that, so not sure what went on there. Not going to make the mistake of leaving that ship to my teammates. Need to sink low health targets with cruisers. I talk about that all the time. Don't even feel like I'm yoinking the kill because I did a lot of damage to that Königsberg. So yeah, so we each lost one ship that was a little too venturesome, and apparently they've lost a submarine. So things are still feeling pretty even. Gonna take some pot shots on this Fuso, not really expecting to do too much. Maybe hit his superstructure a little bit, which is exactly what happened. The Exeter is speedy enough for tier 5. It's a tiny bit clumsy, but not bad, not bad. I think it just all comes down to these guns, whether you would rather have some mediumly heavy cruiser guns that fire every 15 seconds, or whether you'd rather have more Omaha style guns that fire much more frequently but do a little bit less damage. Personally, I'd probably rather have the Omaha. Now, at the higher tiers, part of what makes heavy cruisers more effective is they have more armor. You know, the Omaha is very explodey, as we all know. But at tier 5, I mean, even the Exeter, you're just, the armor is just not going to stand up to anything serious. You can still absolutely get dev struck by battleships. So it kind of, the trade-off isn't quite as good at these tiers. Like, I'm doing some really great damage to this Acosta, but the Omaha would probably do even better, right? Omaha players back me up on this one. I don't play a ton of Omaha, but anyway, I should stop talking about the Omaha in a video on the Exeter. This is still a good ship. I don't think it's a great ship, but it's a good ship. It's a serviceable, workable ship. Having torpedoes, huge plus, as always. You never know when you're going to use them. Like, oh, say a Fuso pushing way too hard around a corner into a cruiser with torpedoes and a destroyer. I actually don't think I'm going to hit these torpedoes because I think the Farragut's going to do him in before they get there. But if the Farragut hadn't been here, these torpedoes absolutely would have wrecked this Fuso. Yeah, the Farragut gets him. That's fine. I always say, it doesn't matter how they die, just that somebody gets them. There's still an Acosta over here someplace, and boy howdy, I want to find him. So I think it's time to push a little bit. I'm willing to expose some skirt to get that Acosta before he gets away. He should be on very low health. Game's looking pretty good at this point. Of course, we just lost the Warspite. That's not amazing. But, you know, we've pushed up on the right flank. This is an interesting map. It's a good map. I like this map. There's so many islands and there's so many places for cover. It makes it really interesting. This game, I've taught this lesson, learned this lesson so many times, but we're going to do it again. Destroyers are so important late in the game. We're basically going to win this game. I'm going to actually explode here in maybe 5 minutes or so, but we're going to have several DDs left, and they're going to play really well, and it's just going to be a showcase of why DDs are so incredibly important. I'm going to set the stage for them, but then they're going to seal the deal. Yeah, Acosta. I decided to let my secondaries handle the Acosta. I really want to take out this Farragut, and it worked. Doesn't always work. I've had that strategy burn me before, but in this case, it was the right play. So we're up to 2 kills, 26,000 damage. Let's see what we can do against a Farragut. He should absolutely stop shooting and just run away. But I guess his concealment is bad. I think it's 6.6 on the Farragut. So maybe he just doesn't feel like he can get away. And he might even be right. Of course, beaching on this island isn't really quite what he probably wanted to do. He almost got me anyway, you know. Those torpedoes could have gotten me, but they didn't. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. And now he is stuck. Let's see what these 203s can do. Yep, that's a nice hit. That's a nice chunky hit. Is it worth waiting 15 seconds for? Maybe, but probably not. But anyway, like I said, play well, get a little bit of luck. But now my luck has run out, right? My luck has run out. Cannot possibly be any luckier than I already have to delete 2 destroyers, set my team up for the victory. Oh well, let's get one shot in. Let's launch some torpedoes. Maybe I'll hit the Britannia. Maybe I'll hit that other battleship. It's kind of my last gasp. Why not? May as well. I'm dead. Yes, I'm dead. If I'm lucky, maybe those torpedoes will hit one on the Prince Friedrich. Yep, okay, awesome. We're up to 48,000 damage. What a great game. I'm happy with that. I sunk 2 destroy... Oh, apparently I sank 3 destroyers. So, my dad always said it's better to be lucky than good. I mean, I don't know what happened there. I mean, granted, that's why I said for you to remember that the torpedoes have 1.3 kilometer detect. That is not very far. And he was sailing directly at full speed, directly into that torpedo, which is phenomenally unlucky. And I guess he just didn't have time to turn. His torpedoes are not that fast. They're 61 knots. But if he was going 35 knots, now we're up to like 96 knots. I cut ahead, by the way. We won the game. When one ship deletes all 3 destroyers on the enemy team, there's not much you're going to do. So, yeah, I mean, that's a great game. Really fun. I don't know what to say about the Exeter. I think it's good. I don't think it's probably as good as the Omaha, which is probably why you don't see very many Exeters. But boy, it sure worked out that game, right? 4 kills, 60,000 damage, and a 1 badge. That one's for you, Dad. Better to be lucky than good. I'll see you guys in the next video.